you're out of work now, but don't worry, you're going to get another high-paying union job that doesn't exist right now. So the Attorney General led 19 other states urging the Supreme Court to act swiftly to stop this appeals court ruling that would give the EPA virtually unlimited authority to regulate everyday life with rules that would devastate the energy industry, coal mining, and increase energy costs. That's for every one of you listening. You'll pay more at the pump. You'll pay more to heat your homes, cool your homes over the summer. And they're arguing the lower court made a big error using a small provision of the federal law that grants the EPA broad authority without congressional input. What has been one of the signature signs of all things radical socialist Biden, and that is bypassing a co-equal branch of government. And this is what the third co-equal branch of government is all about when there's a conflict between the executive and legislative branches. So this is the way that this happens. And so they're arguing that this provision that, again, without any congressional input, to unilaterally decide to, quote, decarbonize any sector of the economy. I mean, we are devastating the energy sector, high-paying career jobs in this country. I mean, just with the stroke of a pen, they don't want to bring this to the floor for a vote because they can't win it there. And they're just hoping that the courts are going to legislate from the bench, which so far they've had some success. But I'm hoping the Supreme Court finally will take a stand. And anyway, to give us an update on it is the Attorney General of the great state of West Virginia. Patrick Morrisey is with us. Well, you've got 19 states now. You're leading the way. How devastating would this be, and how impactful would this be on energy jobs and on the price for energy for every American?
Well, Sean, first of all, thank you for having me on. And I thought your introduction did a very good job framing the issue for the American public. We need to make sure that all Americans know the huge impact of what President Biden's trying to do and what's at stake with this huge Supreme Court fight. So, Sean, you set it up right. The day before Joe Biden took office, there was a D.C. court decision that went way beyond anything we thought was even possible in terms of the EPA's authority to regulate emissions, to control America's energy sector, and to really run roughshod over the American economy. So as we've been watching what Joe Biden has been doing over the last few months and analyzing the law and that decision from the D.C. Circuit, we thought it was imperative to pull together a broad national coalition of AGs and say, hey, look, the EPA doesn't have unlimited authority to transform the American economy. We have to make sure that decisions at the level of climate change, those are for Congress to debate and for the president to resolve. You cannot just put the EPA bureaucrats in charge of that. So we think we have a very compelling case. That's why we're going up to the Supreme Court. Sean, it builds on the big win we had in 2016 when we obtained the historic stay of the Obama power plan. But if you look at what Biden is trying to do, not only to wipe out coal, not only to dramatically curtail the use of natural gas, but to basically electrify the economy. And that electrification word that I'm using, I'm not using in a positive way. This is actually going to dramatically increase fuel costs and cripple our ability to compete on the world stage. The other critical point, Sean, I'd mention is that this is a giveaway to China. Biden, when he's coming up with his number to say we're going to reduce emissions by 50%, he's doing that at the same time that China is going to be dramatically increasing its use of coal. And so we are unilaterally surrendering America's energy independence to one of our chief foreign rivals. This is a disaster of
Well, there was a news story today that they're also looking to partner with one of Saudi Arabia's biggest oil-producing companies in that country. So that would tell me when you put those two items together, they're looking for world dominance, which, by the way, we've been warning about. often when we get to hear audio, we don't have cameras at the U.S. Supreme Court, but we hear cases, the audio cases, and when they're presented and arguments are presented before the Supreme Court, I mean, it's a very fascinating process. So, somebody might on one side or the other side get out two words before the words, "Why are you here? Why is this before us?" And it's fascinating because some justices, Scalia was famous for this. You know, you can't get a full sentence out, and he's going to hammer you with tough questions right out of the box. And anyway, so when the question comes up, why are you here before us? Why? This is exactly what the role of the Supreme Court should be,
right.
and what the judicial branch is all about. You are here because you are saying that this is unconstitutional. You are saying that they're bypassing that other branch of government that seems to be bypassed an awful lot, the co-equal branch called the legislative branch. So when that question, assuming the Supreme Court will take this case, assuming it's taken, that question will be easily answered, won't it?
It is. So the key is we get the Supreme Court to review it, and our argument, why are we here, is pretty clear. The Clean Air Act only gives the EPA limited authority when it comes to this regulation of greenhouse gases. This is not the all-powerful, almighty EPA, and decisions of this magnitude that would transform the whole economy, that has to be resolved by Congress, signed into law by the president. It's such a major change. So that is why we're here, and we think that this gets to the heart of what the Supreme Court already ruled in favor of back in 2016. That's why we just have to get this case to the court, and we think there's a good chance we could prevail.
How soon will you know if they're willing to hear this?
We're probably going to know in the fall, because normally it's the process. We filed a petition to hear the case yesterday, and obviously the government is going to have their opportunity to respond, and then we'll do a reply. So I bet sometime in September, October, we'll know.
All right. We appreciate the update. Attorney General, great state of West Virginia, leading now 19 other states now in a coalition against this unconstitutional, radical, new Green Deal socialist madness that will impact every American and deeply impact the idea of energy independence and high-paying career jobs in the energy sector. Listen, why is this important? Well, when you start paying $4 or $5 a gallon for gas and you're paying twice as much to heat and cool your home, then maybe you'll say, why didn't we listen to Hannity? He was right from the beginning. They're environmental radicals. It is good for our national security. It is good for our financial security to be energy independent. Mr. Attorney General, thank you for being with us. Appreciate it.
Hey, Sean, thank you. And be on the lookout. This pie-in-the-sky proposal of Biden, we're just beginning to unpack it. The devastation to our economy is going to be something we haven't seen before if we don't stop it.
Appreciate you being with us. Thank you. 800-941-SEAN, our number. All right.